in Access Consciousness, we actually have the definition for consciousness, which is where everything exists and nothing is judged. And what I'd like you to do is ponder just for a moment what it would be like if you woke up in your world tomorrow and there was no judgment. No judgment of you, no judgment of your body. No judgment of what you haven't done, what you have done, what you shouldn't have done, that you did do. No judgment of the next moment of future or the far distant future. Having a sense of actually being present without needing the monkey mind to occupy every bit of space that you could have. That's the beginning, as I see it. If we had that as a start, that is just one of the possibilities that's available with consciousness. The other thing that occurs is access to our magic, our capacities that go beyond known reality into the realm of what seems like it must exist in some mystery school. Let me tell you a little secret. The mystery school is within you. You are the mystery school, and when you have the tools to access what is true for you, you change people around you. We've all seen this. We've all seen where we chose lightness in a situation and people went, oh, that's possible, and they lightened up. And now more than ever, our world can use it. And so what I'm going to be doing is an ESB session or ESC. We have all kinds of three-letter acronyms in Access that you want a three-letter acronym, we're your people, okay? Because we can put anything almost into a three-letter acronym. And so I'm going to be talking about a couple of things, but the first that I want to explain to you is sort of part of what this expanding the zone means. The founder of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, and I were going to a ranch to actually film a TV pilot we created called Conscious Horse, Conscious Rider, and we'd never been to this ranch. So Gary and I go to this ranch. We've never been there before, and they have all kinds of horses. And there's this one beautiful red horse, I'll call it Red, who was in this stall, but it was lying down, and it looked like it was withering and dying. And Gary asked the lady, what's going on with this horse? And she said, well, she was one of our favorite horses. She's such a sweetheart. And she was with this rider that was really, like, she had some weird stuff going on. I don't know what it was, but it ended up they had an accident, and the lady who was riding her fell from the horse. And ever since then, we brought the horse back and made sure she was okay. She was physically fine. But ever since that time, she's been just lying in her stall. She won't eat, she won't do anything. It makes me sad to think about such a beautiful creature who is so contracted in their world that they can't be the beauty of them and the gift of them in the world. They can't enjoy their lives and enjoy the gift they are here to be. And so this was about 20 years ago almost. And so Gary's like, hey, can I try to do something for this creature? And the lady said, sure, we have not been able to do anything. Nothing we have done has worked. If you can find something, that would be so wonderful. And this beautiful horse gave us this amazing gift, because as Gary started working on her, see, everything in this universe has consciousness. Einstein said every molecule has consciousness. And the idea of quantum mechanics is by your observation, you change what you observe. How does that happen? By your interaction with it. And let's look at that for a moment. If you interact with somebody from no judgment, like think about what it's like to be around somebody who doesn't judge you in any way. How much space do you get? How much relaxation? How much of a sense of, like the weight of the world can finally come off of your shoulders? Well, so what we do when we go to work with anything is we just show up and we're like, hi, what's up? And we ask a question. And we also have a lot of energetic tools, one of which we're going to be doing dynamically in the next few minutes here, called ESB. But so Gary asked this horse, because the horse is conscious. A lot of people don't know that, which is so amazing to me, but that's a story for a future time, perhaps. But he asked the horse, what's going on and what can I do to contribute to you? And he got this sense of, like if you were to heat plastic, and it kind of goes like this. And that was the sense he got energetically. And he went, what is that? And he got, it's my zone. And, oh, interesting. And what he realized was, he's a horseman from way back. He's had, decades of experience with horses. And he realized that most horses have a space, a zone around them, which allows them to be in communion with everything within that zone. And if you ever follow a herd of wild horses or ever follow a herd that has a stallion and mares and babies, and you know that each horse has its own awareness of what's possible, its own space in which it interacts. And he realized, the horse showed him basically that during this event, during this massive trauma, it was traumatic for the horse because the horse was a healing horse, wanted to take care of people. And here was this, shall we say, idiot on its back that did something wrong and ended up falling off. And the horse went, oh my God, what did I do? Collapsed its zone. And it was withering and dying. So what Gary did is he put his energetic hands where the zone was collapsed, and he just kind of went like this energetically. And he just connected to it and asked it to expand and expand and expand and expand and expand and expand and expand. And then finally, when it got to a place where it was like, oh, the horse went, oh, and it was so beautiful to watch. I can't tell you, this is such a beautiful thing to observe, and also beautiful to recognize that these are capacities that we have. And as the horse relaxed, he kept expanding the zone until it got to a point where he went, okay. This horse stood up immediately, looked at Gary as if to say thank you, like he just kind of went, and then started eating. That horse lived for many more years. So the idea of expanding the zone of consciousness, one of our awarenesses is that, see, every great change in the world has been created from more consciousness. What is more consciousness? More consciousness is more awareness. More consciousness is more possibilities. A great example is like we have all of this plastic pollution in the ocean that a lot of us know about, and people are actually finding ways to harvest the plastic, to get it out of the ocean. What a gift. How did that occur? Was it their mind? Or was it actually their consciousness saying, hey, here's a way of addressing what's going on to change it in a way? And the beauty of consciousness is there are no losers in consciousness. It is a win-win situation, always. Consciousness is always a win-win for all of us. And there's no exclusion in consciousness. There's no, oh, you're from this country, so I don't like you, or you're this culture, or you're this sex, or you're this religion, and I'm a different religion, so I'm right and you're wrong. In consciousness, it's like, hi, what is the gift of what you bring to the table? For me, that is a world I would like to see. That is a world I would like to live in. And rather dynamically, now more than ever, it is our choice, if we choose, to be those that choose to be that in the world. And you may be the first of your kind. And let's face it, most of you watching have probably felt like an alien your entire life. You probably haven't understood the judgment. You probably haven't understood the war. You probably haven't understood the emergency declarations. You probably haven't understood Corona. But you've probably been aware of a lot of stuff around it. But what can we be that invites our world to the greatness that we know is possible? As far as I can tell, and one of my favorite things to do is watch this show called How the Universe Works. And they have all kinds of scientists on there, and they do lots of space stuff, and they talk about how big the universe is and how fast the Earth is moving and the sun and the size and the just massive proportions of things. And it's so awesome because it makes your mind go, and you realize your mind can't fathom it. But what it has given me is the awareness of we have this beautiful planet, and so far we found nothing like it. And if you've ever gone out in nature and allowed yourself the space to relax in nature, that's the energy the earth is also. And yet, I would say, if you look at what's going on in the earth, the zone of consciousness has been collapsed. The space to allow that to be the living, breathing basis of our reality has not been there. And so those of you who have been choosing more consciousness have probably felt like you had a bit of a, not even a bit, like probably a dynamic uphill battle. What I'd like to do today is something I call ESB and SOP. Energetic synthesis of being, symphony of possibilities. And it stems from something I recognized I had the capacity to bring to the world over about 22 years ago now. And it's a way of interacting with the consciousness to bring more of it. So what I would ask you to do, please, is to lower your walls and barriers and receive, but also ask, what can I be? And what am I that I haven't acknowledged? That if I would be, it would expand the zone of consciousness of Earth as big as it can possibly be. See, one of the interesting things is in studying consciousness and also studying quantum physics, not like I study it a lot, but like the other night I was having a conversation with a physicist and we were talking about the idea of how when you observe an object, you change it, which we talked about at the very beginning. Well, here's the thing, my beautiful friends. Our observation, our interaction with the world can change it for the greater with every way we show up and every choice we make, every interaction we have. And what I've noticed is it seems like a lot of work in a lot of people's worlds to get there. And we always judge ourselves like, oh my God, I wish I were more conscious. I wish I were more spiritual. I wish I were, didn't have so many like hang-ups and problems and all that. But what if part of what we can do to have that is to increase the zone of consciousness, meaning the space, and allow the space of consciousness to surround us? Will you ask, please? Because your contribution is vital. If your contribution were not vital, I would not be streaming this right now. I would have already done it. This takes us. You are vital. You are vital to the future of our world. And I don't mean that as put a weight on your shoulders. I mean that as an acknowledgement of the gift of you. And an invitation, perhaps, to explore you as the gift that you are, the contribution that you are, the awareness that your unique alien perspective is a gift and consciousness to the world. And I don't say that lightly, and I don't say it with fluffiness, you may notice. I don't know how to define fluffiness, but fluffiness for me is a lot of the stuff that where lots of big promises are made, but very little is delivered. I'm interested in acknowledging what is for you and for us. Will you acknowledge that there is something about you that goes beyond every judgment of you you've ever had and every judgment of you anybody else has ever had? And any judgment and any projection and expectation anyone has had of you or you've had of them or you've had of the world. I see possibilities emerging dynamically. I see other people who are really interested in stopping those possibilities, trying with their last breath to stop it. They still haven't gotten that it's not going to work, but guess what? It's not going to work. Oops. And you go, how do you know? Well, because I know, and we know. I'd ask you to just on your phone, set down a reminder for a year from now. And just go, what changed as a result of that Facebook Live for expanding the zone of consciousness. What is different since then? So all you got to do is be with this. And you may be like me who, man, this is so funny that I do this energetic stuff all the time. Like, this is the funnest thing I get to do. This is my bread and butter, almost literally. In other words, I show people how they can do this energetic stuff. And 22 years ago, I thought I didn't get energy. I didn't get it in the way that anybody else did. I didn't understand the things they were talking about and the ways that they put it together. And I realized finally, after this ESP energy became available to me 22 years ago, that what was actually going on was I got something different. So, if you don't think you get energy, I totally understand. And what I found is some of the people that think they get energy the least are the people in the past when they were younger who got it the most, but it was too much, it was overwhelming. They got the energy of abuse, for example, or they did some miracle and then were made wrong and just shut it down. I have a friend of mine they were going on a family car ride one time, and he's like, I'm not going. And they're like, no, you have to go. I mean, this went on for a long time. And so he brought all these pillows with him on the car ride. And they're like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I just need these pillows. So he put pillows all around him, okay? This is him as a little kid, put pillows all around him. The car ended up getting into a rollover collision. This kid somehow knew it. But what happened? His family made him wrong. So he wasn't willing to have the awareness after that, because when you're made wrong, you don't want to ever choose what you've been made wrong for. See, this space of consciousness, by the way, I'm doing this session already if you haven't noticed. And you may notice your space doing things. You may notice like subtle shifts. You may notice large shifts. You may notice like, holy shit, I'm part of the universe. Where did that come from? Oh, that's just you. No big deal. That's just you, you beautiful friggin' creature. You beautiful, amazing, phenomenal creature. You beautiful creature that has never been acknowledged as the beauty that you are just by being. And I do not say that lightly. Please know that. Please know this. I don't give compliments. Compliments are a lie you tell somebody to try to get them to like you later or give you something. An acknowledgement is, this is what I see. Now, I may have a weird perspective. I may not get it 100% right. I may not even get it 90% right. But this is what I see as you and us. This is what I know. And before I say something like that, I tap into all the 15,000 plus people that are watching right now, because I don't want to speak to you untruth. We have been lied to far too much by everything. Every outlet in this reality, in this world we live in, seems to do that. My interest is in acknowledging what is true, even if it may make you a little uncomfortable sometimes. Or if it makes you want to fist punch the air and go, fuck yes, that's true. You know what? I've never acknowledged it. Thank you so much for acknowledging me. To which I say, you are so very welcome. And please know you are so, so, so crucial a contribution to this world. And how beautiful that we are the contribution. Us quote unquote normal people, living our lives in the best way we can, desiring more for ourselves and everyone we care about. And when I say everyone we care about, I don't know about you, but I'm an asshole who cares about everybody. And that's what ends up being the thing that seems hurtful, is we care so much about people, we desire them to have and be so much, and they may not see it, they may not desire it, they may not be willing to be it. But you know what? What if you could be an allowance of what every single person in your life chooses, including you? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. If you don't know that, it's called the Clearing Statement. It is a major upgrade in personal development. You can go to theclearingstatement.com. or there's a video of me explaining it for 20 minutes. I'm not going to take that time right now. I'm just going to use it to change stuff. So, I was talking about my friend in the car crash. Nobody ended up dying in the car crash. And yet he was still stuck. He was somebody who was like, I don't have very much power. And I asked him, I said, did you contribute something that changed that crash so nobody died? Because his thought was, oh my God, I created it. See, when you create a miracle, a lot of times you don't realize it and you're looking for, that can't exist. Of course not for me, that must be wrong. Well, I asked him, did you contribute something to helping so that nobody died? And he went, oh my God, yes. Because, how did he know? Because what's true for you always makes you lighter. A lie for you always makes you heavier. After the awareness that he had about that, he started thriving and stepping into being the magic that he was. And so I was using that as an example of when you create a miracle and it's invalidated, like it's your fault. No, it wasn't his fault. He was aware. In fact, it not only wasn't his fault, he created a change. So what miraculous change have you created in any situation that you've never acknowledged, that you hope that somebody else would validate? And so you invalidated yourself and your miraculous capacities that you have just by being you. Now is the space, my beautiful friends. I've been bringing this up and mentioning this for the last several months because there was a different door that opened, a different door that is now open. Now is the space, amongst other things, to expand the zone of consciousness on planet Earth and around planet Earth. It's kind of like we've been floating as this little marble out in the outer reaches of the universe, believing we're somehow alone, almost like cut off from the universe. Everything that allows that, can we destroy and uncreate it and ask to invite the universality of consciousness and oneness? And consciousness and oneness, I hate to say it, to some people can sound airy-fairy, but for me, consciousness is where everything exists and nothing is judged. Oneness is synonymous, and it's where you have this communion with every molecule. What a beautiful friggin' way to live. There's nothing airy-fairy about it. For example, if you'd like to make more money, it would be really helpful to have communion with money. Just a thought. Now, why should you not have that? Remember, everything exists. Money, lust, joy, ice cream, everything exists and nothing is judged. I know it boggles your mind, but I'm grateful you're here to have the experience. So what I'm doing now is, I'm doing one thing and now I'm going to add another thing. This is a new thing, to do two things. Usually it's been one or the other, but apparently today is an auspicious day. I've been doing this thing called ESP. Now, once again, some of you may notice your space is different. Some of you may not notice that. It's not about what you feel. It's about what you get to be after this. It's about your future, not your right now only. And it's not about your feeling. It's about the space of awareness. It's about the space of oneness, the space of consciousness. It's about having more of you and less of judgment. So now we're going to add something called the energetic synthesis of communion, which is something that I have been blessed to do for many years, which creates a sense of communion with the earth and the animals and the fungi and the plants and the trees and every molecule within existence. And as we're doing this, I'm going to ask us to expand the zone of consciousness that Earth actually has had available and hasn't been able to do or be so far. So as part of this ESC, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes if you'd like to, or you can keep them open. And notice sometimes with some of this stuff, you receive more with your eyes closed, but hey, what your choice, you know. You can also receive with your eyes open if you're willing to. I don't care. Your choice. Remember, what's true always makes you lighter. A lie always makes you heavier. So what I'd like you to do is take a deep breath in from the top of your head down to the tips of those cute, sweet, adorable little toes of yours. Noticing your body for a moment with the space of gratitude. And I know we all judge our bodies. Don't worry about it. Just a moment of gratitude for this creature that has been with you on this journey you call life. And just like, whoa, thanks, body. And one more deep breath in from the top of your head down to the tips of those cute, sweet, adorable little toes of yours. Simultaneously connecting with the earth. Hello, earth. You have been here. Wow. And just ask to notice what the earth has been for all of us. And while you're at it, tap into the fungi or the fun guy. They're little fun guys and girls, I'm sure. They probably don't bother with such definitions. It's like fun things, fungings. Maybe my humor is not what it should be. Anyway. And notice that they make a network throughout the entire planet, at least to a certain depth, that connects everything. Kind of like us, but we don't acknowledge it. I may be a little quiet for a little bit, but probably not, because every time I say that, I talk more. Fucking humanoid. You know how it is when you're like, I'm not going to do that, and then you do it 1,000 times more than you ever would have had you not said you weren't going to do it. So, who knows? This space. Now is the space, beautiful earth, the space you have asked us to be, that we also know and willingly be, in the space of awareness, the space of consciousness, the space of being. We contribute to and be with thee. Now is the space. The space is now. Now is the space for consciousness to awaken, for consciousness to be in all of its beauty and ours throughout all eternity and more. Now is the space for conscious realities to be, and for the non-realities of possibility to be and be experienced by thee and we. You've asked, my beautiful friends, you have been asking for something. And most of you can acknowledge it. But your ask never shows up the way you think it's going to. And what you're going to notice from whatever we're doing together today will probably take months to show up. Unless we could perhaps ask for it sooner. So let's. Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Dear Earth, we are asking for and inviting your zone of consciousness and awareness to awaken. We are asking you to wake up and to be, and we are inviting you to be the contribution, the gifting and receiving simultaneously the greatness of the being you have been allowing only in the increments which were possible based on the standards of others. On 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 12, 12, 12. The space is now for you to be you and the earth in communion as the creation of conscious non-reality. And the space of reality, the space of being, the space of possibilities, the space of joy, the space of which can never again and no longer be diminished. Now is the space, my beautiful friends, for your being to flourish and thrive. Now is the space for you to shrug off everything that has made you simply survive. The idea in this world is you must die if you're truly going to make a major change. But you still come back to this reality, so what fucking change did you really get? Pressed a bit of a reset switch, that's it. And now may you fully live without the need to die, to create what is possible for you to be, to create what is possible for our world, to create what is possible as our world, to create what is possible as the earth. And now may the zone of consciousness expand into the universe as the earth again reconnects to the communion with the universe and the oneness that it now is. He said quietly as not to disturb the natives. Softness, anyone? I've known and talked about for so long that it's not what you do, it's the space from which you do it. Like whether you go, I love you, or I love you. Totally different spaces. And what we can all do is sort of like get the sense of the space around us, like, wow. And just without significance, significance kills us. Significance kills every possibility. Significance kills everything. But without significance, we just get a sense of the space of the earth. Without a definition. Just, wow, what is possible? And notice in any of this, and notice after this if your thinker wants to start to understand, and just go, no. Or you could do pak and pod. Or just, no. Because your thinker is your stinker. Takes you away from space. Space is what we be. It's why we love going out in nature. So right now, I'd like you to, goodness, I just want to cry in the most awesome way. Thank you, beautiful people. I was going to say another thing, but it's basically like, notice the space that is available with you in the earth. Just acknowledge the earth, all of it. And maybe you can now in a different way. From the time I was a little kid, I truly desired a world of beauty. And I really mean like the beauty of being, the beautiful possibilities. And one of the questions I have asked and gave to other people to ask is, what is the beautiful energy underneath this? Well, what is the beautiful energy that is now here? Like I said, you may not notice whatever this creates for many months, so don't bother looking. Because you'll think and you don't need to anymore. But you get a sense that something is different. Something is available that hasn't been before. Wow. This is us, my beautiful friends. This is us. Thank you for hearing the call. And as necessary, I will make more calls, make more requests of you to contribute in the way you uniquely can to this world of possibilities that our choices are allowing to emerge. One last thing, I'd like you to get a sense of a world in which war was not only non-existent, definitely that, but in which the space of being would not even consider it. Get a sense of a world in which this idea of separation between any of us would not even be allowed by the space. There's more that I would like to ask for, but as I do, we need to let some of these things change. It's really good to know that consciousness in the universe has an impeccable sense of timing. And though I would like to bring everything into the conversation right now, it's also a great thing to know when you're done and know when to shut up. Wow. Dear Earth, thank you. Earth has been going around contributing everything it can, handicapped not by itself, or apparently handicapped. I don't know. And that it's been there every step of the way for any contribution you might ask. So the last thing I'm going to ask of you is different than the other one that I was going to ask of you, because that wasn't having lightness. Just going to ask, if you would, for the next several days, to just ask Earth, what contribution can I be to you? In fact, ask right now. And right now the Earth is like, hello, I'll get back to you in a bit after when whatever. But if you ask Earth, what contribution can I be? Every time I've ever asked that question, there was this energy that rushes in, and I'm like, oh, what contribution can I be? Oh, to actually receive from you. We think contribution is what I give. Nope, not necessarily. It could be the gift of receiving the gift that is gifted, which is a gift back to the gifter, which expands their world equally as much, if not more, to the gift that was received by the receiver. So let us do one more thing. Let us ask for the simultaneity of gifting and receiving to be. Choose to be the kindness. Choose to seek out the beauty that is underneath everything. And choose to be the space beyond judgment. And as you do, our world not only changes into what we know is possible, it has the possibility to become the greatness that we all hoped for and probably didn't really think we would ever see. Now's the space, my beautiful friends. It's happening. Yes. It's actually happening. And we are just hitting our stride. Let's go. Let's do this thing. Let's be this together. And enjoy our lives beyond any reckoning of anybody else's imaginations or our own. Truly, what are the infinite possibilities? And what if you, truly being you, as the space that knows that there are always greater possibilities, as the space that chooses it, desires it, enjoys it, and lives fully the beautiful life and living that you're discovering is possible, are the gift, the change, and the possibility this world requires. I thank you. I hope I see you soon in person someday for a hug, and thank you for this.